Sony seems to be following in the footsteps of Microsoft. And by that I mean corporate conglomeration and monopolization, or at least they're attempting to. So the big news over the last couple of weeks was about Sony saying that they're looking into buying Kadokawa, a major media corporation based in Japan. Or now that it's public and the stock of Kadokawa has skyrocketed, at least a majority of the corporation. I have a major issue with the way that this has been reported, though. I understand everyone thinks, yeah, Sony, they do the PlayStation stuff. Let's focus on the fact about how Kadokawa owns a majority stake of From Software. And so all the news articles have been focused around From Software. Oh, the Souls-like games will become PlayStation exclusive. Oh, will Sony run the From Software name into the ground with predatory monetization tactics and constant sequels? Not that I'm calling out any specific companies or anything. Let's just close some of these tabs here. Now, what upsets me though is it seems like no one is talking about everything else that makes up Kadokawa. From Software is such a small part of Kadokawa. Hell, they don't even own the entirety of From Software. Just a majority stake at 69%. And when I say it's a small part, I mean it's a small part of Kadokawa. It's a big company, been around since 1945, and my first time ever seeing their logo was at the beginning of every episode of a little show called Future Diary. Now, I'll admit, it's not the best show in the world, but I mean, come on, I was like 14 at the time. I thought it was cool, okay? Then I started to see it pop up more and more often. I mean, just look at some of these shows. You have Higurashi, you have Weathering with You, you have ReZero, Fate, I guess, Kill la Kill, and it just goes on and on of the shows that they have production credits for. And this is just one singular branch of the company. They've been slowly acquiring more and more subsidiaries, as well as constantly changing and merging branches. It makes it a little difficult to keep track of it all. One thing that is easy to keep track of, though, is their largest market isn't actually in anime production at all. It's in the paper, not the money, but the publication of manga and light novels. If you just look at this, 54% of their sales in 2024 were from publication, with only 17% being animation and 9.75% being from gaming. This is where From Software is, and this is what's not being talked about. And when you look at their catalog, you can see it. You have like Dot Hack, you have Bungo Stray Dogs, High School of the Dead, Deadman Wonderland. We're not going to talk about the anime for that. Lucky Star. Like, there's some really, really big names on here. And it makes sense. Again, being a company that was made in 1945, they've had time to just constantly build up a catalog of manga and light novels. So why is this all such a big deal? Why am I upset that no one is talking about this? Well, as most anime fans know, Sony owned Funimation for a while. And then they bought Crunchyroll. And even after qualming concerns saying, no, don't worry, we're not going to do anything with the two of them, they rolled them into one, and Funimation is no more. This isn't even actually the page you get if you go to Funimation.com. It literally just takes you to Crunchyroll. I just have this saved from when Funimation was actually still a site. Now they have a chance to pull Kadokawa under its wing, a massive company when it comes to the publishing of manga. And a lot of those manga get turned into anime that are then streamed on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll is the largest anime streaming platform with 120 million viewers. That puts it above Peacock, above Hulu, above Paramount, above Max. No one cares about Max anyway, and just below Disney Plus. So they have the distribution down. They're thinking of acquiring the publishing side of it. This is starting to sound like a goddamn vertical monopoly to me. All that has to happen is a few studios to start to go under, and boom, from start to finish, Sony owns every piece of the anime pipeline down to the bolts. We're still not done though. Anime News Network. How many people have gotten tired of my anime lists, biases, and ratings and switched over to something that seems a little bit more well-weighted? Well, it's majority owned by Kadokawa. What about Bookwalker? If you haven't used it, it's a great way to purchase and read manga digitally. I'm currently reading Chainsaw Man, and it's difficult to find them in print where I live. It's not a plug or anything like that. It's a great site. Well, it's owned by Kadokawa, if you see up here in the left-hand corner. RPG Maker. RPG Maker. I guarantee you've at least seen RPG Maker games all over the Steam store because the style is pretty easy to spot. Well, luckily for you, it's owned by Gacha Gacha, which, if we scroll down, is 100% owned by Kadokawa Corporation. This is so much bigger than From Software. This is so much bigger than only gaming or only anime. It's when you start digging into just how widespread Kadokawa's reach is that you start to realize just what this purchase all entails. Like, I didn't even know until researching this that Lollipop Chainsaw, the publisher for the Japanese version, was Kadokawa Games. So will Sony take the plunge and buy it? Will they be able to with how much it might cost them? We don't know. And we don't know if it's going to be good for anime and manga enjoyers or not. Probably not, because less competition is always worse. One thing I can be certain of, though, is no matter what, this is good for Kadokawa. Anyways, it's just something I wanted to talk about a bit. Thanks.